Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make are cookies. But we're going to make probably a pretty popular cookie, which is chocolate, because who doesn't like chocolate, right? They're called chocolate crinkles. I've seen these cookies, but you know what? I've never made them. And they were so easy. And for some of you that have watched my other videos, you know I do like easy, quick cookie recipes, but I want them to taste good too. And these, well, they fit the mark. They really do. So let's get started. First, you're going to start off with a half a cup of oil. Now, you decide what type of oil that you want to use, because that is quite debatable and I don't want to get into that. So you decide what type of half a cup of oil that you put in. Now, I no longer put the recipe below the video, and I'm sorry about that, but I'll explain in a bit. So hopefully I'll go through the recipe slowly enough and clearly enough that if you want to, jot it down, you're going to be able to do that. Now, you can certainly make this with your hand mixer. You do not have to use a stand-up. I like the stand-up because I find it's quicker and easier for me for the videos. So I just put in, again, bears repeating, a half a cup of oil, your choice. The next thing you're going to put in is 4 ounces of unsweetened chocolate that's been melted and cooled. Now, if you prefer and you don't have, unsweetened chocolate, then go ahead. You can use unsweetened cocoa, and you would need 12 tablespoons to 4 ounces of, again, your favorite oil. And you can make it yourself. You don't have to buy it into the, how it's in, it looks like a candy bar. Again, this is unsweetened chocolate, and feel free to use your unsweetened cocoa. And once again, if you want to do that, you would need 12 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa to 4 ounces of oil. Ooh. Or just buy the bar, melt it. I usually melt it in a microwave safe bowl, and I just melt it in the microwave. So that's going to be up to you. All right, the next thing that I'm going to put in is granulated sugar, and you're going to need 2 cups of granulated sugar. So I'm going to just turn on the mixer. I'm going to warn you about the sound. Okay, and just mix that really well. It might take you a minute, it might take you 2 minutes, depends on, the speed of your mixer or your hand mixer. The next thing you're going to be putting in is eggs, and you're going to need 4 of them. I've had them at room temperature, and I'm going to beat them in one at a time. Warn you about the sound of the mixer. That was 2. And that's 3. And that was 4. And I raised the speed again to move it along, but just stay with it, mix it well, and again, maybe that'll take you a minute, maybe it'll take you 2 minutes. The next thing you're going to put in is 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And just again, beat it in well, mix it in well. Okay, now let's talk about the dry ingredients. You're going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. You're also going to be putting in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You're going to be putting in a half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just using my little whisk here just to stir that all in. Now I'm slowly going to put the dry with the wet. I'm gonna, I don't want to shower the kitchen with flour, so I'll do it slowly. Also, you're gonna need 1 cup of powdered sugar in a bowl. 1 cup of powdered sugar. So let's go back and start putting this into the wet. Now I'm going to raise my speed. Okay, that does not take much time at all to blend that. And now I'm just going to take the excess off my paddle with my spatula here and set that aside. And I'm going to show you what this looks like so far. Oh, it smells so good. You can smell that chocolate and that sugar. And then when you bake the cookies, oh, your whole kitchen smells so good. It really does. Okay, now, once you make this, and again, I always got to make sure that everything got blended on the sides and in the bottom of, your mixing bowl or whatever. But anyway, you can see that right now it is very soft. This cookie dough should be refrigerated or chilled. Now, it might take a couple hours to do that. What I generally do is I put it in a bowl with some plastic wrap on the top, and I put it in my freezer for about a half hour or 30 or 40 minutes. But watch it, because you don't want to freeze it or anything like that. Or just put a cover of it, put it in a bowl again, put a cover over it, and let it in the refrigerator overnight and bake the cookies the following day. But it is too soft, as you can see, to work with it, okay? So again, it needs to be chilled or chilled overnight in the fridge. Now, I'm going to get some. I'm going to put this in the fridge for chilling, which I will bake later, and pull out some that has been chilled. All right, take off that plastic wrap. And this is what it looks like once it's chilled. Now, you can see the very difference of the cookie dough. I'm sure you can see that. You can see now I actually can handle it. I roll it in a ball or whatever. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to need, of course, a cookie sheet or cookie pan. Now, use your parchment paper or your mats or whatever that you prefer, or you can grease your pan. I prefer, with this cookie, I did both. I tried using where I oiled my pan, I tried spraying it with the oil spray, and then the parchment paper, and I really did like the paper better, but that'll be up to you. So you've got a lot of choices there. Now, the next thing is the scoop that I'm using. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the size, but this is a smaller one, and this is the size up. So it's about equivalent to, well, a little less than 2 tablespoons of cookie dough if you don't have a scoop. But I find it's easier, and that way, all the cookies are consistently the same size. And go to that 1 cup of powdered sugar that we mentioned a little bit ago, and then I just pull that off out of there like that, and then roll it in the powdered sugar. And you're just going to, see that it forms a ball. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, these cookies will spread out, so you do want to put them about 2 inches apart. And you can see, you can roll it in your hand if you want, and then just roll it in that sugar. Let's do one more. But But you do want to chill this dough because you've got cookie dough. You know you've really got to be able to roll it. And when it's freshly made, as you just saw, it's really impossible. Now, you're going to bake these cookies at 350 degrees, and they could take you anywhere from, well, 10 to 12 minutes. So I start checking mine about 8 minutes, because you know our oven's set up so differently. If you are going to bake two trays at a time, of course, you know, rotate them. But I probably didn't have to tell you that. A lot of people say, well, why would you tell me that? I know that already. Well, I assume that probably everybody does, but some people don't, so I want to always put that in there. Okay, I'm going to rinse my hands quickly. So I'm working with raw cookie dough here. And I want to show you what they look like once they bake up. And this is how they'll turn out. They really make for just a pretty cookie, you know, they really do. And I guess you can kind of see why they call it crinkles, because they look very crinkly, don't they? Now, when they bake up, okay, they will have a hard surface on the top. They will be like a light golden brown on the bottom. I'm going to break one open to show you. They will have a semi-moist center, and I'm going to just squeeze on that a little bit. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but that they do have a chew to them, okay? So they're not, you know, a real hard cookie. You know, when you break it, you hear that snap. Again, it's a chewy cookie. It's a semi-moist cookie. It's not real heavy or real dense. I think you could see how moist it is as I'm squeezing it together. Oh, these cookies are really delicious with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or just a cold glass of milk. They are really quite good, and they're very easy to make. Now, if you try this recipe and you like it, we'll leave a comment, because I'd like to hear from you. And then I'd like to explain that I'm sorry I'm not alone on this at all, but it's no longer worth me putting the recipe below the video, because so many of you, when you write to me or have a comment or have a question, and I see my work on other sites that people have taken, claim them as theirs, post them, pin them, it's just not worth it anymore. I'm not alone on that, and I realize that. But I do want to tell you that if you do write to me, I will do my very best to answer in a timely fashion. If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe to the channel, boy, that would be fantastic. Or ring the bell. So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake. You know, this is the only place that I put my videos. So if you're watching them other than on my channel, on Diane Lovetobake, those probably aren't my, that is not, how can I put this? It's not me putting that video on there, because I'm only on YouTube. So I'd appreciate you watching me on YouTube. Find my channel, and I can't thank you enough for doing that. So thanks for watching Diane Lovetobake. Give these cookies a try. I think you're gonna like them. So thanks again. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.